महाकुंभ में तो कह रहे हैं कि जो दातुन बेच रहा था वो भी शायद मिलियनर बन गया.
चाय बेचने वाला 2 लाख रुपए रोज का बना रहा है.
60 crore people already visited. जो इन्होंने मेरे ख्याल से एस्टिमेट किया था 40 crore, 60 crore have already visited. एक वर्ड है कॉल्ड प्राइवेसी, कि मुझे ना प्राइवेसी चाहिए, मुझे अलग इसलिए रहना है कि मुझे प्राइवेसी नहीं मिलती. और कई बार कहते हैं कि पैसा ही एक ऐसी चीज़ है जो फैमिलीज़ को आपस में सेपरेट कराता है.
एंड फ्रॉम देयर वी रियलाइज कि यार बीइंग टुगेदर एक मुट्ठी बन के रहो तो बहुत ताकत होती है. गर्ल्स बॉयज एंड गर्ल्स बोथ when they stand at the counters of the airport for 11 hours at a stretch at night, and imagine when you are going to office, they are going home. When you are enjoying the day, they are sleeping. So travel trade has got its own ups and the thing. It's not glamour always.
ऐसा क्या बदल गया है? What has happened that so much travel is happening?
Instead of luxury or like something that you want to enjoy, it has now become a necessity. If you will not educate your children but what is happening in the world, they'll be left behind. It's time now that they travel and see what's available all over the world.
No, अगर आप बहुत सारी जगह जाओ, even Goa, from what we've seen earlier and now, huge difference. तो हमें हर जगह लगता है भीड़ है.
हमने आज़ादी को शायद ये बना दिया कि अब मैं जो मर्जी कर सकता हूँ. 5 स्टार होटल्स भी बढ़ रहे हैं, 4 स्टार होटल्स भी बढ़ रहे हैं, 7 स्टार होटल्स बन रहे हैं अब तो. सुपर लग्जरी होटल्स बन रहे हैं.
I was reading was that about 5.56% of our GDP comes from travel and tourism, and it is
You were saying,
and
that
it
is what I was about to say.
it will hit about 10% by 2030, 32 or something like that.
Absolutely. So that's the increase of travel. That's the kind of potential of travel industry. Or look at the GDPs of the countries all over the world because of tourism. I was surprised the other day there was somebody begging at the street and I didn't have change. He says, "Mera Paytm kar do."
Welcome to Podcast by Space Creators. Firstly, thank you so much for giving us so much love. And travel has been a household name in India, I would say, in the past 10-15 years. Prior to that, there were very few people who would travel. Today, we have a very interesting story. Somebody whose family gave us inks to write, okay, and then he gave us wings to fly all over the world, okay. So let's welcome Mr. Guldeep Sahani. Welcome, Guldeep.
Thank you so much, Vipin, for having me here. That introduction was, amazing. I really got the world of my life in that introduction.
In that introduction, yeah, your family. जब हम लोग बच्चे थे तो 2 ही इंक्स होती थी, एक वेल्डन होती थी और एक चलपाक होती थी. एंड तो हर बच्चे को इंक पेन से उस जमाने में लिखना होता था. तो all of us used to buy Weldon inks.
Absolutely.
And that's been your family legacy, family name that many people know.
Yeah.
It's much later, I think, you got into travel as well. That's why I said that your family gave us inks to write, and
I was born with Weldon,
and
the name Weldon and the ink industry.
And you gave us wings to fly.
Yeah.
So let's start with your family.
Yeah, sure.
Guldeep,
Yeah.
because I'm a big fan of family legacy businesses and people taking.
It's a very long time. I know about that. Yeah.
So please tell me how was Weldon found? कैसे बना Weldon और क्या हुआ?
So my grandfather was a station master in Houthi Mardan when India was a wider country, when Pakistan was not formed.
And Houthi Mardan was in Pakistan. Okay.
Present Pakistan.
Okay.
And when before the independence happened, in one of the meetings, one of the British guy, in some conversation while my father was sitting in that meeting, told my grandfather. My father was also sitting there.
Acha, your father was also.
So, like a family member, he was just waiting for him to get free and then go with him. So he said, "Kya country chala loge tum log? You can't even make an ink, writing ink."
Acha, this
and
is.
Then my father.
Some Britisher said.
Yeah.
Okay.
A British guy said.
Which year was this?
This was somewhere in 1947,
Close
46,
to
46, 47.
independence.
Yeah. And my father said, okay, I will make ink and I'll show to them that we Indians can make anything that we want to make. We are
Wow.
self-sufficient.
Wow.
And that's where the foundation of well-done inks, the fountain pen inks started. And he made inks by the name of Weldon.
So he left a job.
No, he wasn't doing job. He was doing small businesses.
Okay.
And he used to make shellac and other kind of things, other chemical things.
Okay.
And used to sell in the market. Then he got into ink industry.
Okay.
And that suddenly boomed, like the indigenous ink of a good quality came to the market and there was no looking back.
ये पाकिस्तान में उन्होंने बनाना शुरू किया
Pakistan में बनाना शुरू कर दिया था.
अच्छा.
And then during that, it was in 45, 46 की बात है. And then he migrated to India. And before the partition took place, he migrated to India. So that's when he shifted to Delhi and he set up his factories in Delhi, Qutub Road, Paharganj, Qutub Road, where he started this business.
Old Delhi.
Old Delhi. And there was no looking back. So that was we are 6 brothers.
Okay.
We all joined the same business.
All 6 of you.
All 6 of us.
And you're the youngest?
I'm the youngest.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were all in the same business. Although we developed other businesses also side by side, we, with the family, started doing exports of hair fixes was exported to UK, Africa, wherever the 6 gentlemen were there. So for that, we used to do that. Then we started exporting drawing inks to various parts of the world. Fountain pen ink was exported to neighboring countries and all.
Okay.
So we were all looking after different. Somebody was, and then while we were exporting, we also started exporting food stuff.
Okay.
So,
by the same name, Weldon.
Under the same company's name.
Okay.
And then we also made a few other separate companies for only exports and all. And that was what was going on. Then in 1978-79, abruptly the government of India came out with an order that in schools now ball pen can be used.
Before that, it was not allowed.
It was not. In school, you have to use the fountain pen. And then fountain pen also has the legacy that on the checkbooks, you had to sign with only fountain pen.
You couldn't
there was
use.
a necessary usage of fountain pen.
Okay.
So that suddenly was taken away.
Okay.
And the fountain pen industry died overnight.
Overnight.
Okay. So whatever the consumption came down to just about 25%. Only people who were just using it started using it. The rest of immediately shifted to ball pen because that was a more convenient thing.
How old were you at that time?
At that time, I was 22.
And you had started going to the factory?
Yeah. I had started going to the factory in the year 73, 74 when 73 I passed out from school.
Okay.
And after that, in our houses, in our families, it is like very common. The school हो गया पर चलो आप college करो and then you also keep on
parallelly काम पे जाना शुरू कर दो.
Learn the business also.
Okay.
So I was in Hindu college and I was doing BSc. Science was required because we were dealing with chemicals. So BSc was what I was doing. So I started going to office also at that time. So my first interaction was factory job and start dealing with the production.
अच्छा, straight away.
So I started.
They taught you anything or just आपको डाल दिया कि जा सीख अपने?
No. I was under one of our managers. He was a retired major, and he was a very strict man. And my father told him, "You're not going to treat him like my son.
Okay.
You're going to treat him like one of the employees of this company and train him like that."
Okay.
So he was very strict. First day I came at 10 o'clock to factory and he asked me to go back home. I was marked absent. Then I had to sit in front of my father and explain why I was late. And he didn't take my explanation. He says, no, if you have to come late, you have to inform much earlier. Otherwise, you will not be allowed to come to the factory. If anybody who's late by 5 minutes can't enter the premises.
Wow.
So I used to reach 9:15 rather. Instead of 9:30, I used to reach at 9:15. So that was the first learning lesson of integrity that I learned from my
day one discipline.
Day one, yeah.
And
then the nitty-gritties of manufacturing and procurement and Then I gradually started going to office and I started learning sales. So when in the family business you are taught banking and finance and all that
Everything.
came. And then one of my brothers who was handling the office completely in 1980 shifted to USA.
Okay.
And I was
After जब ये 1978 के ऑर्डर के बाद.
हाँ. So 1980 he shifted to USA. His family wanted to shift to USA and all, so he also decided to shift to USA. So he shifted to USA, and then suddenly I was told, "Ki, now you look after the office." Now I had no clue of accounts. I had no clue of how to handle the office and all. But with the help of the staff which was there, which was very old staff, they trained me in all the kind
How
of things.
to do
How
accounts.
to do accounts, how to see. I didn't even know debit and credit same rata. And so they taught me if there is something debit, it has to be the same thing credited somewhere. So it will always remain the same. I always remember small things like trial balance has to be tallied. अगर एक पैसा भी फर्क है तो go through the entire year and find out where it is.
And find out where it is.
Yeah, and sometimes while finding that 1 rupee or 1 paisa, we used to hit thousands of rupees difference, and then the balance would tally. So it was manual accounting at that time. We had those big books we used to write. So that was the time when I picked up the accounts and then the sales and then handling of sales staff, handling the tours. I was sent on tours myself to go and see how the tour is conducted, where to stay. We couldn't stay in the 5-star hotels or 4-star hotels. We were supposed to stay in a very small hotel so that the budget is lower for those sales guys. He says, if you will stay in a 4-star hotel, how will you make him stay and make him comfortable? Otherwise, he'll not be able to, if he's not comfortable, he'll not be able to work next day. So, but at the same time, keep the cost down. So we had to do that, study side by side. So, those were the nitty-gritty things that I started learning. And then end of 80 or 81, I was full-blown into the business. And I was handling the office, head office completely. And my eldest brother was handling the production.
आपको पता है आई डू मेनी पॉडकास्ट और मैं काफ़ी सारे लोगों की स्टोरी सुनता हूँ एंड बहुत सारे फैमिली बिजनेसेस की और बहुत सारे सेल्फ मेड बिजनेसेस की एंड लोगों के दिमाग में जो एक धारणा है या लोगों का एक पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू है कि अगर फैमिली बिजनेस में तो चीज़ें प्लेटर में दी जाती हैं बट जब एक्चुअली जब सुनो जैसे आपने बताया कि मैं 5 मिनट लेट था तो मेरे को वापस भेज दिया गया नेक्स्ट डे एक्सप्लेनेशन देनी पड़ी वो 4 स्टार में रह रहे हैं तो मेरे को जब वो अगर 4 स्टार में नहीं रह रहे तो मेरे को भी नहीं रहना एंड पीपल रियली डोंट गेट दिस कि फैमिली बिजनेस की प्रिविलेज मिलती है और आपको काम वैसे ही सीखना पड़ता है जैसे किसी और को करना पड़ता है
unless you go through you will not come to know ना कि वो उसको क्या मिल रहा है but one thing that Vipin I'll say I was privileged was that our family is like bound together. I used to get a lot of support of my elder brothers. So, a lot of advice from them, a lot of directions given by them. Wherever I was about to fall, they would hold me, and that would teach me lessons of how to deal with that situation. So that was a big support that I have. Yeah, and the staff working with our organization was very old. They were about 20 years old, 30 years old guys working with the company. So they supported me a lot. So I got a lot of what I got in Platter was the support system that was there. That I did get in Platter. I want to acknowledge that. The whole staff of Weldon, the whole family, my elder brothers really supported me a lot. Financially also they supported me a lot. They supported me when I was in school also. जब आइसक्रीम खरीदनी होती तो पैसे अपने दे जाते थे छोटा भाई है so like that. I really am grateful to that, and still till today we are 6 brothers and a sister. We have no issues among our family. We sit down and resolve things. We just sit down and it gets resolved.
And it is all the teachings from your grandfather and father.
From grandfather and my father. My father was actually there. Grandfather died very early when I was very small, but my father and my mother were the binding force. My mother had to handle 6 sons and 6 daughter-in-laws.
Wow.
And then there were 12 children in the house. I'm talking about later part when everybody got married.
And all of you used to stay together in one house?
We stayed together in Pusa Road.
How many years everybody stayed together?
We stayed together till about 1980. One brother shifted, then 1982,
1980.
83, 84, another brother shifted. But the family, they still were like part of the family only.
Yeah.
We were together till late 90s. So we were all together. And then another brother shifted to the farm, and then one shifted to Gurgaon. So but that shifting didn't make any difference because we are still, as of today, we get together and we are like same team, same, like it's like a club together.
What is the reason behind it? ये एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग चीज़ है. आजकल तो क्या होता है कि भाई भाई को बड़ी जल्दी भूल जाता है. बिजनेस सेपरेशन होती है या कोई भी फैमिली सेपरेशन होती है, एंड देन इट इज ओवर. सो व्हाई डू यू थिंक you guys are still together, and why do you think there was such a support system? What is the
So I've never thought about it because it is when there's no issue and when you are like that, then you're being like that. ना तो कभी सोचा ही नहीं उसके बाद. When you're being something, you don't even think about that. But when you ask me this question, I can definitely say that that binding force of being together, that binding system of being together,
system? Yeah.
that and the force behind it was our parents who never put embargoes on us, like things like that. You must do this or you must do that. They would do things that we would follow. And one of the things they did was they kept their families together. Their brothers and sisters, they respected a lot. At that time, there was no such thing कि यार उसका farm house है, मेरा farm house है, तभी मैंने उसके साथ दोस्ती रखनी है. No, we were doing quite well right from the beginning because my father made good money right from the beginning. But then at the same time, his brother-in-law, उसकी sister का husband आते थे. Even if he would come on a DTC bus, my father would still touch his feet and welcome him, and we learned that. Now I realize that my father, because now when I see people around that, they look at the watch you're wearing and they look at the car you're driving.
उसके हिसाब से आपका रिस्पेक्ट
उसके हिसाब से उन्होंने वो करते थे, and we followed that. And from there we realized कि यार being together, एक मुट्ठी बन के रहो तो बहुत ताकत होती है. That we saw in Weldon Inc.'s days, that the whole family went together, we could do a lot of things.
You had what, 65% market share?
Yeah, we had about more than 60% share because we used to
all
sell
over in India.
Rural, no, northern India.
No, northern India.
Because we were selling in rural areas and all.
Okay.
So we had a major market share at that time. Although it was not measured at that time, but it is like calculated from the kind of volume that we used to do. Like we used to market in Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Punjab, Jammu Kashmir, up to Bihar, Madhya Pradesh. So and our ink sold in rural as well as urban area.
Okay.
So that's why the sale was pretty.
You
good.
had different costings
for
the
Weldon became a brand as a instead of asking a toothpaste, somebody would say Colgate. So they would say Weldon दे दो तो उसको कोई भी दे सकता था, लेकिन people would say नहीं Weldon ही दे.
Weldon दे दो.
So
60% शेयर ना किसी के लिए भी बहुत बड़ा होता है. और कई बार कहते हैं कि पैसा ही एक ऐसी चीज़ है जो फैमिलीज को आपस में सेपरेट कराता है. ठीक है. तो जब इतना शेयर था और इतना आई एम श्योर मनी इनफ्लो होगा, फेम होगा, सब कुछ होगा, तो आपस में जेलेसी, इनसिक्योरिटी, झगड़ा वो सब नहीं होता था?
देखो हर घर में ये झगड़े छोटे मोटे तो होते हैं. हमें वो झगड़े को झगड़ा नहीं लगता था हमें. वो that झगड़ा was like a difference of opinion which was resolved on a table. Whenever it used to happen, we used to sit down, talk about it, say whatever you have to say, and in the end we used to get up on one single result.
Page.
Yeah. So one thing which I got present to while you were asking this question was our house was like a club.
Okay.
Club
meaning?
शाम को दिल करता था घर जाने का. क्योंकि सारे बैठ के कोई या तो हम ताश खेलते थे या वो कोई अंताक्षरियाँ खेल रहे होते थे. And we used to share about what happened during the day, listen to others. कोई सेल्स से आ रहा होता था, कोई प्रोडक्शन से आ रहा होता था, कोई ऑफिस से आ रहा होता था, लेडीज अपना कोई कुछ ना तो एक आपस में इंटरेक्शन होती थी. It was like a club. And we used to all sit together. And on one dining table, there was a routine that पहले बच्चे खाएंगे, उसके बाद
सबसे
men-
छोटे बच्चे।
सबसे छोटे बच्चे पहले, क्योंकि उन्हें स्कूल जाना पहले वो खा लेंगे।
हाँ।
उसके बाद एंड देयर वाज वन किचन ओनली,
हाँ, अच्छा, पूरे
घर का एक ही किचन होता था।
कितने लोग रहते थे?
27 people.
27 people।
Yeah, we were in one house. And then गेस्ट भी होते रहते, आते रहते थे।
हाँ,
पर
27 है तो रोज 4-5 गेस्ट तो वैसे ही होते होंगे।
आराम से होते थे। और वो सिस्टम, इतने लोगों को इकट्ठे बैठने का खाने का प्रॉब्लम ही है। तो एक टेबल बड़ा होता था जिसमें बच्चे पहले खा लेते थे, देन मेन और वुमेन विल सिट टुगेदर, देन अनदर राउंड, ऐसे होता था। कोई जो किचन में बना रहे हैं,
2-2, 3-3 राउंड चलते थे।
तो दो 3 राउंड चलते थे।
हाँ।
3 राउंड में मुझे याद है मैं लास्ट राउंड में बैठता था।
हाँ।
कि वो क्योंकि उसमें फादर जिनको बहुत हम रिस्पेक्ट देते थे, तो वो जब चले जाते तो हम थोड़ा फ्री हो जाते थे कि हम एक दूसरे के साथ गाली गलौज भी कर सकते हैं, सब कर सकते हैं, वो फ्रीली बात करते। तो वो लास्ट में बैठता था।
हाँ।
और लास्ट में बैठने का ये भी होता था कि अपार्ट फ्रॉम बिजनेस वो घर की बातें सुनाई देती, आज
हाँ।
कौन आया, कौन गया, क्या हुआ क्या नहीं हुआ, तो उसमें मजा, या किसी बच्चों के स्कूल्स में क्या हुआ। देन द चिल्ड्रन हु वर टुगेदर, 12 third generation children, when they were there, I would rather say fourth generation.
फोर्थ जनरेशन। हाँ, ग्रैंडफादर से चलोगे तो फोर्थ हो गए।
वो एक कोर्टयार्ड होता था बड़ा ओपन, उसमें वो खेलते थे और हम ऑडियंस बन जाते थे। वो टूटी खिड़की लकड़ी का जंगला खेलते थे हम। वो आज भी those children are now grown up, they are their children, and we आज भी हम बैठ के वही बातें याद करते हैं। That kept us together. It was like an atmosphere where we would love to be together rather than going out somewhere. And we did go out where we had to go also, but coming back to the house was a pleasure. और देखो, जॉइंट फैमिली के दुख सुख बड़े होते हैं। थोड़े डिफरेंसेस क्या होते हैं, समटाइम्स यू वांट टू ईट समथिंग बट यू हैव टू ईट व्हाट इज मेड एट दैट टाइम। सो वो था, दैट वाज देयर, but that was always kept aside, because then everybody kept this in mind, that what everybody likes वही बनता था। If somebody likes something different, तो वो एडिशनल बन जाता था। तो ऐसी कोई वो नहीं था कि हम महरूम नहीं रहे किसी चीज से। बट एट द सेम टाइम वो होता ही है कभी, आज भाई मैंने ये नहीं खाना, आज मैंने ये वाली सब्जी नहीं खानी है, मैंने आज ये खाना, तो वो चीज़ से रह जाते हो ना, आप बोलते नहीं, क्योंकि वो कहते हैं जो बना हुआ कोई, वो ये नहीं कि रिग्रेट होता है कि आप कहते हो चलो यार कल बना देना, समथिंग लाइक दैट। बट सुख क्या कितने होते हैं कि एज सुन एज सम ब्रेकडाउन हैपेंस, समबडी फॉल सिक, there are another 20 people or 10 people standing on your head to support at that time. My father got the first attack of paralysis in 1984. It took us just about 15 minutes to take him from home to Wellington Hospital. From Wellington to there was a hospital in Rajpur Road, I forgot the name, Tirathram Hospital. हम Tirathram Hospital ले गए थे उनको. And then he was there in the hospital in coma for 1 month, and then it took him another 2 months to recover. And then in 2 years he was in that state. 86, 5th January 86 he passed away. But to tell you that his 2 years were the amazing years of our life, because his being paralyzed, his nature changed. He was earlier a very strong, disciplined, tough man. He used to make us disciplined. And now I realize that his toughness was just to make us great human beings and keep us together. For those 2 years, he became funny. He became like a friend. Yeah, we really used to joke. And it was fun being with him. The whole family would gather around him, sit with him. And we used to talk about business, and he would say, no, yeah, talk about something light, some joke crack karo, something like that. So he became fun. So those things, those circumstances that I'm sharing with you, many I can talk about, they kept us together, and that was the binding force. Till today, I'm now 69. My elder brother, the one who is just 3 years elder to me, I'm not talking about the one who is 17 years, he passed away now, वो तो order देते थे कि ये नहीं करना, तो मैं वो करता था. The brother who is elder to me, I'm the youngest, आज भी अगर वो मुझे कहता है कि गुलदीप तूने ये नहीं
काम नहीं करना,
तो मैं 2 बारी सोचता नहीं हूँ, नहीं करूँगा. वो हमारे अंदर चला गया. जब हमारी फैमिली का हमने डिसाइड किया कि we have to do the division, we have to divide the assets and all, the elders gave authority, the whole thing to us. कि तुम दोनों भाई बैठ के डिसाइड कर लो.
The youngest two.
Youngest two. And we decided, we decided something, then we all got together, we decided, and nobody, they were just thinking, looking here and there, यार सुन तो लो हम क्या कर रहे हैं, यार जो करना कर दो ना, खत्म. Not even a single person
Had an issue.
had an issue on that. My brother passed away. If I'm talking the number 3, he passed away in 2010. And when we did the division, we gave his full share to his wife and his children.
Wow.
It's their share.
Mostly ऐसा होता नहीं है.
We didn't even think about that. वो हमारे बच्चे हैं ना.
हाँ.
Part of our life.
हाँ.
And by the way, that generation is also same. If I scold him today, they'll take it. They'll not go to anybody and say, your chacha is saying this. They never. They'll just sit down and quietly say, okay, and then they'll do what needs to be done.
तो मुझे ऐसे लगता है, मतलब my point of view, and आपका स्टोरी सुन के तो मुझे और ज़्यादा ऐसा लगता है कि एक वर्ड है कॉल्ड प्राइवेसी, कि मुझे ना प्राइवेसी चाहिए. मुझे अलग इसलिए रहना है कि मुझे प्राइवेसी नहीं मिलती. जॉइंट फैमिली में प्राइवेसी कहाँ मिलेगी? डोंट यू थिंक ये जो वर्ड प्राइवेसी है ये बहुत ओवररेटेड है, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दिस जॉइंट फैमिलीज डोंट एग्जिस्ट एनीमोर?
देखो, इन आवर केस तो प्राइवेसी भी रखी गई ना.
हाँ.
जो वो टाइम आया जब प्राइवेसी चाहिए थी, तो वी ऑल वेंट टू सेपरेट हाउसेस नाउ, एंड वी आर लिविंग आवर ओन प्राइवेट लाइव्स. आवर चिल्ड्रन, some of them, my children live with me. My wife, my daughter is married. She lives with her family. That's also joint family. They live separately. My son lives with me. They have their own privacy. We have our own family privacy now. When it had to happen, it happened.
Yeah.
Now, if privacy का definition को गलत कर दो कि ऐसी privacy चाहिए कि मेरे घर में भी मुझे अब
पहले दिन से
I don't want to live with my parents, तो फिर उसकी वो फिर upbringing उस तरीके से हुई है. It's not wrong or right. That's the way they are. They want that, and that they get it. हमारी upbringing वही है कि we want togetherness.
Yeah.
That's why our children also want to
वो भी वही
be with us. My son had he was working with S&P for about 17 years. He got a lot of chances to go overseas. But he didn't. He said, no, I want to live with you. My daughter-in-law is like daughter. He lives in the house. Like, I don't even consider मुझे तो मैं तो blessing समझता हूँ. My son-in-law and their parents are connected to us. अभी 3 days back, my Samdi, my son-in-law's father, he just called me. He said, आपकी टिकटें ले लिए, मुगले आजम देखने जाना. We are still the same. वो right है उनका. वो कह रही है चलो कुछ छोड़ो काम, चलो चलना. And we went. So we lived our life the same way. But at the same time, privacy bhi hai. If you have something that you don't want to be, you want to be on your own, you can say, no, I don't want to do it today. We respect that. So it's not that. But we still want to be together. Our family wants to get together at every
chance
given. We would like to be together. And then you have to be there to see the kind of things that we laugh on, our own silly things that we have done in the past. We laugh over it. वो ये हुआ, and we laugh. दूसरे ऊपर क्या हंसना, अपने ऊपर हंसो ना. So हम अपना past को याद करके हंसते रहते हैं. वो इतना enjoy करते हैं. Sometimes it is repetitive.
But वही चीज कई बार सुन चुके हैं.
It's fun. Yeah.
And जब आपका ये 78 में order pass हुआ, when was the time that you said कि now it's time to shut down Weldon?
Weldon didn't shut at that time. It gradually did, because the market didn't break instantly.
It took time.
It took time. So in end of 80s, I and my brother were together. The rest all had started different businesses. So my eldest brother and we were together. End of 80, we realized that the business is now small.
So you were the last person who...
Yeah. Then I realized my brother has done only Weldon, nothing else in his life.
Achha.
And I still have some strength to do something new. So I gave that business to him.
Achha.
He was very kind enough to take it over. I would say he was generous to take it, because I was equally part of the game, and I was running the whole head office. I was running the sales. His son joined him, so we gave it to him. He took it very gracefully, and then I stepped into travel industry.
Yeah.
Because at that time I had a friend who was in travel trade, and I used to go to his office, and travel trade used to fascinate me a lot.
What about travel trade fascinated you?
You see, one thing that I saw in travel trade was one mistake that people always should get aware of is that they think there's glamour in it. It's a wrong notion. Girls who are working at the reception have to stand for 10 hours
Yeah,
together. Their legs start paining. Girls who are standing, or I won't say just the girls, boys and girls both, when they stand at the counters of the airport for 11 hours at a stretch at night. And imagine when you are going to office, they are going home. When you are enjoying the day, they are sleeping. So travel trade has got its own ups and the thing. It's not glamour always. There may be additional glamour somewhere, but that glamour is in every business. You talk about garments, talk about fashion, the glamour is everything.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's hardship in that. There are people who are struggling in it. So I got into this trade when I saw that I used to go to their office. They used to make tickets. They used to make holiday packages. I found it very interesting that there's something to do. There was creativity in it. Somebody wants to go for a holiday, and you first of all get what they want and then deliver on that, rather than beyond what they expected. That attracted me. There was lots of things to learn, and then the world is at your disposal to sell. Now, I'd seen a little bit of world. I'd been to Australia, I'd been to other parts.
A little bit, you're being generous now. Very, I would say, humble.
Yeah, but at
You
that
must have,
time-
how many countries have you?
Now I have, after being in the travel trade, I've never counted. There are very few countries left that I've not been to. Yeah. And, but at that time I had not traveled much. I would say I must have traveled to about 8-9 countries by then.
Okay.
But that was one of the things that attracted me, that I will now travel and I'll see world. But intention behind it was to educate
Understand.
myself, understand
So that
it,
you can sell
then
better.
I can
Guide better.
turn people's dreams into reality.
Wow.
That was what attracted me there.
And then Weldon Travels was born.
Weldon Travels was born at that time.
1980?
In 1992.
1992.
Yeah.
Okay. 33 years
1992,
now.
Yeah. Because in 89, 90, I went to USA. I thought I'll live my life in USA and I'll run a travel agency there, because this friend was running an agency here. We thought I will run it there. And we converted this into an IATA company. He and his wife were very kind to tell me everything about the trade. I learned everything from them.
Everything. From
They gave their heart out. There was nothing hidden. And but 91, that company became IATA, and then they wanted to run the company, and I also thought it's their hard work. So I said, you run that company, I will start Weldon Travels. So I started Weldon Travels in 1992. 1994, we became IATA. And
IATA is?
IATA is a license that once you become an IATA member, then you can work with the airlines and issue tickets on their behalf.
It's
You get
still
their stuff.
valid?
Yeah, we are still an IATA company.
No, IATA is still required. ये जितने भी सब Make My Train पे वो सबके पास होता है.
Yeah. Although the importance of IATA, while it is still there in some way, but now it is not the necessity, because now there are consolidators who are giving you the tickets at the same rate. So the agencies now buy through consolidation.
Consolidators are this Make My Trip and
No. They are not the
Yatra,
consolidators. What happens is, like in our business, what happens is they initially, when they start business, they talk to about 100 agencies to say, what is your business? And then they say that, okay, 200 crore rupees business I can do with these 100 agents. So he goes, and because now commission is 0. So he talks to an airline that if I give you so much business, give me 1% or 1.5%. Now the game is that small. So if they get 1.5%, they'll part with 1% to us. And we get at least 500, 600 rupees on a ticket. That's our earning.
500,
Yeah,
600 rupees
the
on a ticket
profits
worth.
have gone,
Ticket worth.
say about 60,000, 70,000 rupees.
What?
Yeah, I'm telling you the reality. It's the volume game now.
It's a volume game.
Earlier, Vipin, what used to happen कि सारे दिन में एक टिकट भी बेच लिया था तो 9% तक कमीशन मिल जाती थी हमें.
अच्छा.
Now we are at 0% commission. Now if we sell about 20, 30 tickets in a day and we make 500, 600 rupees on a ticket,
It's nothing.
although it's nothing, but then that volume generates and then we agencies can't run only on this. There are agencies which are doing voluminous ticketing. They run only on ticketing. Then there are agencies now running on the tours, whether domestic or international. They make money on that. Then the visas is a
Big business.
Big business. That the people who do business. My company does all because we if we have to make a tour for somebody,
You have to do
we
everything.
have our own ticketing. We have our own visa system. We have got we have got agents overseas. We are tied up with. So when you land in some country, you are received at the airport. You are till the end. Somebody is doing your hand holding, and then business has evolved. There was one time when only offline agencies were there. Now online OTT has come into business. Youngsters, they want to just sit at home and click on a site and book a ticket.
And book a ticket, yeah.
You know, at the same time, there is a volume that we are talking about. India's volume is quite big. If you look at the statistics, we have about 30 million people traveling out of India.
30 million.
Yes.
Out of India every year.
Every year till last year.
Till last.
This year is going to be a big jump. We can see this big volume happening.
And inbound?
And inbound is about 12 to 13 million people coming into India. And then within India, about 1.5 billion people were traveling till a year and a half back. This year is going to be
massive.
Things like Kumbh Mela.
60 crore तो यही हुआ है.
I think by tomorrow when it ends on 26th of
मतलब extend कर दिया, 2 March तक कर दिया.
2 March तक कर दिया. तो वो कितना वॉल्यूम हो जाएगा?
70 crore हो जाएगा.
So this is the potential of this country. There was time when our population was an issue for us. Now it is the asset.
Yeah.
So they are generating business. Look at the insurance industry here. We are just 7% people who are insured. There are 93% still to be insured. That's why all the world's insurance companies are here in India. Because that's the potential we have.
Yeah.
So the volumes are increasing. So coming back to what I was saying was, now there's every kind of
Travel
client.
So what has really happened, Guldeep? पिछले 5 साल में, I would say, before COVID, people compare it कि before COVID कुछ और था, अभी कुछ और है. But उससे पहले जो हम एयरपोर्ट पे जाते थे तो वो इतना रश नहीं होता था. कहीं पे भी जाते थे, tickets were cheaper, everything was there. Right now, anywhere you go, especially within India, ऐसा क्या बदल गया है? What has happened that so much travel is happening?
So I think it is the per capita income which has gone up considerably. If you look at people around you, मैं तो I lived at Pusa Road. I was born, brought up there. 60 years I lived there. मेरे पीछे होता थी रिहेबिलिटेशन कॉलोनी होती थी राजेंद्र नगर. राजेंद्र नगर में छोटे छोटे घर होते थे 80-80 गज के. उसके अंदर एक स्कूटर होता था किसी के पास. अब राजेंद्र नगर में कोई भी ऐसा घर नहीं रहेगा जिसके 5 फ्लोर ना हो, 4 फ्लोर ना हो. हर फ्लोर पे 2 गाड़ियां, 3 गाड़ियां. So you can see how things have evolved from one scooter to 2 cars per family, and their children are doing well. Now education has become important for people. They are well educated. They are getting jobs. There are foreign companies which are coming and investing here. So children are doing good. They're getting good salaries. There's lots of disposable income now. Even for businessmen, the volumes have, look at the sabzi wala who's got a Paytm. सोचा था किसी कंट्री में कि हम Paytm करके सब्जी खरीद लेंगे. I was surprised the other day there was somebody begging at the street and I didn't have change. He says मेरा Paytm कर दो.
Oh my God.
So at the time I was very happy. यार हमारा मुल्क कितनी तरक्की कर गया है. वो Paytm everybody is carrying in their pocket. That QR code. So disposable income has increased. That's why people are doing things like not just one job or not one business. They are investing in real estate. They are investing in stocks. They are investing in mutual funds. They are investing in like gold. Their commodities they are buying. They may not physically buy it, but there's a provision there to buy commodities and invest in that. So there's lots now people invest in and they're making much more money. Fixed deposit income has now with only people who like companies like me who need fixed deposit to do bank guarantees. I will have to put it there. Or there are people who are elderly, who are retired and don't want to have a risk in life and want to save 7-8% interest coming. They do. So that has also increased because the volumes are increased. People are now investing in various kind of things. So everywhere you see the volumes have gone up. Banks were earlier, one bank was in one area, crore by area, used to have one syndicate bank or some kind of bank.
A bank street.
Now on every road there is HDFC Bank. Sometimes on one road I live in Sushant Lok. I think in every block there are two HDFC banks. You'll turn around and you can see ICICI, Kotak Mahindra Bank. These banks are there. Even our nationalized banks have increased their, they've merged and they've become so big. Every nook and corner you see, Canara Bank is there.
So we shouldn't
Punjab National Bank
be
is
shouldn't
there,
be
SBI.
surprised. We shouldn't be surprised that there's an increase in travel.
That's why the increase of travel happened, because there's a much more disposable income and people now, instead of luxury or like something that you want to enjoy, it has now become a necessity. If you will not educate your children but what is happening in the world, they'll be left behind. It's time now that they travel and see what's available all over the world, so that India can move much faster. Exposure of things is has become very important. I would say government should invest in people traveling overseas. There, even in organizations like corporations, local corporations, like we talk about Gurgaon or Delhi Corporation. If the people who are making these policies, they travel overseas and see kind of systems they make, we can do much better than that. And we'll go faster. Rather than waiting we will become like that after 20 years, we will
can
be
go
doing
faster.
beyond that in a better way. So that is now that travel is no more luxury. It is like things
A
that
necessity.
like it's a necessity. Like air conditioner is no more luxury. It's necessity. You want to do you want to have more productivity. You must have an air conditioner so that you can work well, do more hours of working. You won't get co-working spaces or you won't get an office where there's no air conditioning.
Nothing.
You can't have a cooler now in the sultry weather of rainy season where the cooler is working. No more. Now we avoid coolers because of mosquitoes. So things are changing. So similarly, travel is now, it is luxury is also there. There is entertainment also. I'm not saying that part is not there. There's every kind of segment is there.
But there is exposure, education, everything involved.
People sometimes, even if they can't afford and they make provision for their travel is because they want their children to get the experience of what is available where they're traveling. So
Now, let's talk about travel in India. I've traveled a lot as a child. हम लोग हिल स्टेशन जाते थे, मसूरी, नैनीताल, शिमला, कश्मीर और गोवा भी जाना शुरू हुए. अभी जैसे वी ट्रैवल इन 80s, 90s, अर्ली 2000. अभी ऐसे लगता है सब जगह भीड़ है, जाने का मन नहीं करता. अगर आप बहुत सारी जगह जाओ, इवन गोवा from what we've seen earlier and now, huge difference. तो हमें हर जगह लगता है भीड़ है. कोई भी ऐसी, I went to Goa last year. I went because of business. I went a few times, but it looked weird क्योंकि हर जगह लोग पे लोग. कॉस्ट एक्सपेंसिव हो गई है. चलो कॉस्ट एक बात है, बट हम ट्रैवल करना चाहते हैं कि हम आराम से रह सकें, सिक्लूडेड जगहें हों, साफ सुथरी जगहें हों, ज़्यादा भीड़ ना हो. पहले ऐसा एक्सपीरियंस मिलता था कहीं पे भी, इवन मसूरी में मिलता था. अब वो एक्सपीरियंस ही नहीं मिलता है इंडिया में. उसके लिए उसका क्या सोल्यूशन है?
देखो, सॉल्यूशंस ऑलरेडी लोग ढूंढते रहते हैं और मिलते भी रहते हैं सॉल्यूशंस आपको. जैसे मुझे याद है कि मसूरी मॉल रोड पे जब हम बचपन में जाते थे, मतलब 100 लोग भी होते थे, हम कहते थे भीड़ है.
मैंने क्रिकेट भी खेला हुआ है मॉल रोड.
क्रिकेट ऑन द मॉल रोड.
हाँ,
कैन यू इमेजिन नाउ आप क्रिकेट छोड़
थोड़ा
के
कोई एक आता था तो मतलब चलो साइड में मैं क्रिकेट खेला
आप क्रिकेट छोड़ के आप एक बेंच पे ताश नहीं खेल सकते,
नहीं खेल सकते.
there's so much of crowd there. But if you see, people have started finding ways out. There's a place called Landor near Mussoorie. मैं पीछे उधर हो क्या, what I realized was कि now that people are now finding ways to go back to the basics. People are finding places like that better. उधर वो अभी concrete नहीं होने दे रहे. That's the best part.
So
If they
green ही
won't
रखना
let
है.
that concrete happen, the people will go there, enjoy that area and come back. But then they come back to Mussoorie only. There's no other place. So Mussoorie जैसे अगर और चीजें डेवलप होनी शुरू हो गई हैं, people are now started going beyond Mussoorie. People keep finding that those places. Goa, what you spoke is, I feel really bad when I look at places like Goa. It becomes a disaster. Goa को मैं compare करता हूँ with Simla.
Yeah.
When we used to go to Simla when we were in school, my brother was in Dikshai.
Yeah.
We used to see so much of greenery in those hills. वहाँ पे जाना एक pleasure होता था.
अब पंखा चलता था.
Now you see concrete everywhere. When I went after about 25-30 years to Shimla, and I literally cried there because I couldn't see a green tree there. They were all concrete. And then there was a fear कि अगर कुछ earthquake वगैरह हुआ तो ये
तो
क्या
खत्म हो
होगा?
जाएगा.
ये तो pack of cards की तरह नीचे आ जाएगा. Because there is no mechanism to set the standards of living and the norms of the construction are not followed. So government has to wake up to this kind of thing because अभी हम pollution के लिए लड़ना शुरू कर दिया हमने. अगर 10 साल पहले किया होता तो शायद कुछ और सिचुएशन होती. So we have to, that awakening has to happen and it has to start with us. We can't always blame the government.
Yeah, yeah.
You see, now suddenly our children have started saying, I'm not going to drink water from plastic bottle.
Yeah.
Which is a very good thing. Schools are teaching them. In school, we have to teach people to respect people when we are at the crossing, whom to allow first to go. When we hit the roundabout, whom to allow. We have not been taught that. We don't know. We have not been given this training to where to park our cars. We park anywhere and look at the 2 minutes के लिए आ रहा हूँ and then we park the car. That 2 minute causes the complete traffic jam for a long time. So these basics which are taught if you go to China, you will see people are disciplined. Even in villages they are disciplined because basically they teach them that. हम पता नहीं किस चीज में, that is not my horizon, but I do feel that the basics में कहीं रह गया. हमने आज़ादी को शायद ये बना दिया कि अब मैं जो मर्जी कर सकता हूँ. So that was not the right.
मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि किसी भी कंट्री, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन या किसी भी चीज़ के लिए दोनों चीज़ें ज़रूरी हैं. अगर रिवॉर्ड ज़रूरी है, एक स्टिक भी ज़रूरी है. विदाउट अ स्टिक मोस्टली पीपल डोंट फॉलो द रूल्स. वो स्टिक इंडिया में आनी शुरू हुई है, बट बहुत सारे जैसे ट्रैवल ट्रेड में भी नहीं शुरू हुई, मतलब टूरिज्म में नहीं शुरू हुई. दैट इज़ व्हाट इज़ रिक्वायर्ड बिकॉज इंडिया में बहुत ब्यूटीफुल. मैं पिछले 3 साल में जितना इंडिया में ट्रैवल किया हूँ मैं कभी नहीं किया हूँ.
स्टिक की जरूरत इसलिए पड़ती है क्योंकि हम पहले इनडिसिप्लिन होने देते हैं ना, फिर उसके बाद स्टिक यूज करते हैं. अगर हम बेसिकली सिखा देंगे तो फिर नहीं होगा ना.
गुलदीप, एक आपने बड़ा अच्छा पॉइंट जो इलेबोरेट किया, ये मेरे लिए भी नहीं था कभी. मेरे लिए था कि ट्रैवल जो है घूमना फिरना ही है, और आपने जो बताया कि उससे एक्सपोजर मिलता है, और अगर हमारी अथॉरिटीज़ के लोग भी जाना शुरू करें एंड दे सी द वर्ल्ड, देन इट विल ग्रो फास्टर. नाउ अनदर क्वेश्चन, हाउ हैज़ ट्रैवल इंडस्ट्री ट्रांसफॉर्म्ड विद, एक तो हुआ ये मेक माई ट्रिप यात्रा, वो सब आनी शुरू हो गई. अब एक नया कॉन्सेप्ट 5-7 साल पहले आया इंडिया में, उससे बाहर तो पहले था, जिसको एयरबीएनबी. ठीक है, हाउ हैज़ दैट चेंज्ड एवरीथिंग which is happening in the industry?
So with the volumes increasing, changes will always come. अभी तो आप यहाँ तक देख रहे हो, अभी और भी आएंगे. अच्छा. You can't even imagine. इसी ज़माने में हम कहते थे कबूतर लेके जाता है चिट्ठी, अब वो ईमेल में चले जाता है. So what is happening is with volumes increasing, the options, innovation and options are also increasing. Availability of options is there. Like you just said, OTTs बन गए हैं बहुत, मेक माई ट्रिप, यात्रा and all you're talking about. वो वॉल्यूम्स इतने ज़्यादा हो गए हैं, 1 मिलियन से हम 30 मिलियन आउटबाउंड हो गए हैं. लोकल हम कुछ हज़ारों में ट्रैवल करते थे, अब बिलियंस में ट्रैवल करते हैं. इतना ट्रैवल बढ़ गया. इंडिया की गवर्नमेंट अब इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बना रही है, रोड्स बन रही हैं, इतनी अच्छी रोड, अब आप 3 घंटे में जयपुर पहुंच जाते हो।
मैं कल ही जयपुर से आया हूँ।
हाँ, 3 घंटे 3.5 घंटे में
साढ़े
जयपुर पहुंच
3
जाते
घंटे
हो।
में जयपुर।
और मतलब इंक्रीजिंग नाउ इफ यू गो फ्रॉम दिल्ली टू जयपुर, अगर आपको दिल्ली में बहुत रश लगता है, गुड़गांव में रश पड़ता है, लगता है जयपुर में रश लगता है, तो जयपुर के रास्ते में
रास्ते में
resorts
बहुत
आ रहे
कुछ
हैं,
रिजॉर्ट्स आ गए।
तो प्रोविजन बन रहे हैं उसके हिसाब से,
हाँ
क्योंकि हमारा वॉल्यूम भी बढ़ता चला जा रहा
हाँ
है। एंड एयरबीएनबी भी कुछ लोगों को एयरबीएनबी सूट करता है, बिकॉज उनकी बजटिंग उस तरह की है। कुछ लोग कहते हैं कि
कस्टमाइजेशन भी है।
हाँ, कुछ कस्टमर कहते हैं कि नहीं, आई वांट टू गो एज पर द रिकमेंडेशन ऑफ माय एजेंट, एंड सम पीपल हैव द नॉलेज ऑफ द प्लेस, दे जस्ट गो टू द ओटीटी एंड बाय, वो मेक माय ट्रिप खोलते हैं या कुछ भी booking.com खोलते हैं, खरीद लेते हैं। तो हर तरह का कस्टमर हो गया, और सबके पास वॉल्यूम है।
हाँ
हमारे पास, हमें कोई ये डर नहीं है कि वो जितना वॉल्यूम बढ़ रहा है वो कुछ 50% मेरे पास आता है, 50% उनके पास चला जाता है, उनके अपने।
जो पहले एक ट्रैवल एजेंट्स में एक फियर आया था कि ये लोग विल टेक अवे एवरीथिंग, दैट इज डिसअपीयर्ड।
आपको याद है जब रेलवे ने फर्स्ट टाइम अनाउंस किया था कि हम कंप्यूटराइज कर रहे हैं
Online,
हर चीज़,
हाँ।
सब कुछ कंप्यूटराइज कर रहे हैं, ऑनलाइन चले जाएगा, तो स्ट्राइक हो गई थी रेलवे में
आई नो,
कि जी और इतनी एम्प्लॉयमेंट तो चली
चली
आज
आएगी।
कितनी एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेट होगी उसकी
जनरेट
वजह से।
होगी उसके चक्कर।
क्योंकि इतना ट्रेन बढ़ गई हैं, इतना वॉल्यूम बढ़ गया है, उसके हिसाब से एम्प्लॉयमेंट बढ़ गई। सिमिलरली इन दिस फियर हमारे अंदर आया था। हमारा फियर तो हर वक्त आता ही है, देखो कोई चेंज आएगी, चेंज ब्रिंग्स फियर।
हाँ
फियर कहाँ से आता है? बिकॉज लैक ऑफ नॉलेज। व्हेन यू गेन नॉलेज देन द फियर डिसअपीयर्स। फॉर एग्जांपल, वी यूज्ड टू मेक मैनुअल टिकट्स, यू रिमेंबर? पहले वो टिकट होती थी,
हाथ
इसको
से
हम
बनती
हाथ से
थी,
लिखते
हाँ।
थे, ठीक है। फिर वो प्रिंटर से बननी शुरू हो गई।
बननी शुरू हो गई।
फिर एक टाइम आया जो वो ई टिकटिंग में चला गया,
कंप्लीटली अब ई टिकटिंग है।
ई टिकटिंग में चला गया।
टिकट भी नहीं देखता वो, अब तो सिर्फ चेक इन करके बोर्डिंग पास लेके जाता।
वो हाथ से लिखने वाला टिकट का जमाना वो होता था जब डायरेक्टरी, टेलीफोन की डायरेक्टरी आप
I
देखते
know.
हो, उस तरह की एक एबीसी होती थी ट्रैवल रेट की, 3 मोटी मोटी बुक्स आती थी, हर कंट्री का डिस्टेंस लिखे होते थे उसके ऊपर, उसको कैलकुलेट करके हम फेयर बनाते थे।
ओ माय गॉड।
अब वो कंप्यूटर कर देता, उसमें डालो, मैंने इधर जाना, वो कैलकुलेट करता है ये टिकट इतने की बनेगी। सो थिंग्स हैव बिकम सिंपलर नाउ एंड वी कैन डू मोर वॉल्यूम्स नाउ विद दैट टेक्नोलॉजी। इसी तरह चेंजेस आती रहेंगी। एयरबीएनबी बढ़ेगा, 5 स्टार होटल्स भी बढ़ रहे हैं, 4 स्टार होटल्स भी बढ़ रहे हैं, 7 स्टार होटल्स बन रहे हैं अब तो,
Super luxury.
लग्जरी होटल्स बन रहे हैं अब। So all the kind of hotels they'll have, every segment will have their business. Road trips बढ़ गए हैं अब, cars are in abundance because people love driving on the roads now.
ड्राइविंग ऑन द रोड।
So everything is increasing because of the volume increasing.
लोग अब गाड़ी खरीदने के टाइम एक क्राइटेरिया ये भी हो जाता है कि
Yeah.
मेरे को अगर रोड ट्रिप पे जाना है तो कैसी गाड़ी होनी चाहिए।
And one thing that I'll touch, जो आप पहले पूछ रहे थे कि रिगार्डिंग की बहुत भीड़ हो जाती है कहीं पे,
हाँ।
तो वो उसके लिए लोग अपने आप जगह ढूंढने लग पड़ते हैं। मैंने ऐसी ऐसी जगह जो अभी तक खुद नहीं सुनी, लोग मुझे आके बताते हैं कि यार वो दिल्ली से 6 घंटे की ड्राइव पे वो एक लेक है, उसके पास एक रिसोर्ट है, जहाँ जाओ वहाँ पे होके आओ। तो I get surprised, and hotels facilities are amazing over there. इसी तरह people are also looking at कि यार यहाँ पे जो जिस बजट में मैं गोवा हुआ था उसमें मैं थाईलैंड हुआ होगा या श्रीलंका हो जाऊंगा या दुबई हुआ होगा, तो लोग वो कर दें। अब दुबई में रश हो गया, अब रसल खेमा लोग जाने लग पड़े,
जाने शुरू
अबू धाबी जाना शुरू हो गए,
अब
शारजा इज पिकिंग अप।
अब जो मेन सिटीज ऑफ थाईलैंड में भी लोग नहीं जाते।
अब वो बैंकॉक कहाँ जाते हैं लोग?
अब कोई नहीं जाता, सब आउटस्कर्ट्स
कोई
में।
फुकेट जा रहा है, को सुमई जा रहा है, को वो चिंगमाई जा रहा है। वो इतनी जो नाम ही कभी नहीं सुने थे उनके नाम आने शुरू हो गए। सो पीपल विल कीप फाइंडिंग वेज। सिंगापुर से लोग बिंतान एंड बाटम जाने लग पड़े हैं, कभी सुना ही नहीं था कि इंडोनेशिया के लिए फेरी लेके जा सकते हो, लोग जाते हैं। क्रूजेस हैव इंक्रीज्ड बिकॉज पीपल आर फाइंडिंग इट लाइक एक वन स्टॉप शॉप में सारा हॉलीडे मिल जाता है, खाना पीना सब बीच में हो गया। So and they also stop on the ports where you stop for 8 hours.
8
and
hours.
go and see the city.
See
also.
the city also.
So every kind of segment. In luxury, people are taking helicopter rides from one place to other. In adventure, people are doing deep sea diving. People are doing bungee jumping. शंकी तो पुरानी हो गई।
पुरानी हो गई।
अब तो वो स्काई डाइविंग वगैरह लोगों ने शुरू कर दिए। So things are changing a lot. Skiing जो इंडिया में पहले popular नहीं थी, अब look at the places of India where skiing is available, people are going there. Now government has to step in now to make that the policy where the accidents don't happen, the standards are maintained, the quality is maintained. That has to be required. There has to be a public private sector combination where the whole evolution goes to the right direction.
Because what I was reading was that about 5.56% of our GDP comes from travel and tourism. And
It is, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, you were saying
and
that
it
was
is
what I was about to say.
it will hit about 10% by 2030, 32 or something like
Absolutely, that's important. Look at the employment that we are generating.
that. Yeah.
We have about almost 65 crore jobs we create.
Wow.
And this is going to go double in another by 2020
Yeah.
or 2030. So that's the increase of travel. That's the kind of potential of travel industry. Or look at the GDPs of the countries all over the world because of tourism. There are certain countries which depend only on tourism.
Only on like Mauritius.
Mauritius, Switzerland, Macau. They're all tourism dependent countries. So tourism is not only for the sake of tourism, but it is creating the GDP of the country. It is creating employment for the country. There are a lot of things that come together. देखो India में, if we look at the one figure, let's look at the figure of 30 million traveling out of India and about 15 million coming into India. Now, we feel bad कि India में कम आ रहे हैं. We should have more people coming in. As an Indian, I would love to
have more people
because once
30 जा रहे हैं बाहर तो 15 क्यों आ रहे हैं?
Infrastructure हमारा issue है, वो infrastructure अगर better होता चला जाएगा, naturally people will come to India. And
रोड से फर्क पड़ा होगा.
फर्क पड़ रहा है. आस्ता-आस्ता we are becoming aware of it. But if that 30 million people who travel out of India, look at the kind of infrastructure that they are utilizing. Look at the seat availability. जितने aircrafts आते हैं वो भर के नहीं जाएंगे, तो फिर आएंगे भी नहीं ना. तो इनबाउंड के लिए ऑलरेडी प्रोविजन बन गया, आउटबाउंड ने क्रिएट कर दिया कि वो इतने लोग आ भी सके. तो वो साइमल्टेनियस है, हैंड इन ग्लव है. सो सारे आउटबाउंड, इनबाउंड, डोमेस्टिक सारे जब बढ़ेंगे तो टोटलिटी में ट्रैवल ट्रेड एक जीडीपी भी क्रिएट करेगा, जॉब भी क्रिएट करेगा. एक बाहर जाने वाला आदमी, उसके लिए देखो एक वीज़ा करने वाला आदमी है, एक टिकट करने वाला आदमी है, एक उसका पैकेज बनाने वाला आदमी है, एक टैक्सी वाला उसको लेके जा रहा है, वो जाके एयरपोर्ट पे पूरा एयरपोर्ट का इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर यूज़ कर रहा है, टैक्सेस जनरेट कर रहा है. If I start making a list, is a whole of a list with one person traveling that makes a difference.
महाकुंभ में तो कह रहे हैं कि जो दातुन बेच रहा था वो भी शायद मिलियनर बन गया.
चाय बेचने वाला 2 लाख रुपए रोज का बना रहा है. The other day I read something.
In Mahakumbh.
I don't have any authentication of that.
60 crore people have
that's the potential
already visited. जो इन्होंने मेरे ख्याल से एस्टिमेट किया था 40 करोड़, 60 करोड़ have already visited. उसे कह रहे हैं कि उसके आसपास वाराणसी, अयोध्या, the entire I would say यूपी का टूरिज्म कहाँ से कहाँ चला गया.
Not only इंडिया के within India, बाहर के inbound tourism बहुत बड़ा इससे.
Mahakumbh.
A lot of people came from overseas to attend Mahakumbh, which is going to happen.
And then they travel
144 years.
Other countries as well.
Yeah, they also
other cities as well. Yeah.
Countries like Bali, which is a Hindu state within the Muslim country, वो सब लोग Mahakumbh में आए. Sri Lankans are coming in big volumes. Bhutanese are coming in big volumes. When I touch that, I would like to let you know that out of 12 stupas of Buddhism, 9 are in India.
Wow.
बट वो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर ना होने की वजह से थोड़ा
लोग पहुंचते नहीं है वहाँ.
बट नाउ द गवर्नमेंट इज बिकमिंग अवेयर. बन रहे हैं, रोड्स बन रही हैं, फैसिलिटीज बन रही हैं. थोड़ा तेज कर देंगे तो जल्दी हो जाएगा. दैट्स व्हाट नीड्स टू बी डन. बट होगा बिकॉज विद द पॉपुलेशन दैट ऑफ आवर काइंड, with the kind of issues that we are facing, the whole country has to खाली tourism नहीं देख सकते. They have to see other things.
They have to see everything.
So can't keep blaming the government. Somewhere private sector has to jump in to cause this, and they will make money out of it. And they are doing it. If you see now, suddenly you'll see a resort in a place which is nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
They create even if there is no lake, there is no river, there is nothing around it. They make a resort by itself, which you go and stay and you enjoy for a few days over there.
एक चीज और बताओ, इसीलिए आप अपने बेटे को भी इसी बिजनेस में ले आए.
Absolutely, मैं नहीं लाया, वो आया.
Because he was doing a job, a very well settled.
He was in the corporate job, very well settled.
Yeah.
And then he decided one day to come and join us.
अपने आप बोला या फिर आपने कुछ थोड़ा पिन किया बीच में?
देखो पिछले 3 साल से कह ही रहा.
नज कर रहे थे.
फिर हालात ऐसे हुए कि उसने one day he decided कि he wants to come and join with whatever he decided on one day,
Huh.
and he joined the business. And ever since he's joined, things that I can't even imagine he's doing.
Huh.
I mean, we never used to. I'm a totally outbound tour operator. I would say 90%.
90% outbound.
10%
Means
domestic.
outbound means outside India.
तो 10% domestic करता हूँ because we have to. जो उस customer का करते हैं. But now our inbound is increasing because suddenly Angad brought in business from anywhere. वो कहता I would like to explore this also, and he's expanding that. So and then ideas that he's bringing in, things that I would say, यार ये बहुत expensive चीज़ है, इसको क्यों दे रहा है? He says no, it's not the cost. It is the experience that the person will get. By spending that money, if he'll get value out of it, he would love to do it, and people have started accepting that. I'm surprised to see that. You know,
Let's give an example.
to give you an example, the deep sea diving in Australia. You know, I was telling me at the Great Barrier Reef. You know, I was telling him, यार वो risky काम है, क्यों पंगा ले रहा? मैं इस तरह का पंगे नहीं लेता.
Huh.
Because these youngsters, they want to explore this, and then the quality of how they manage it there, have trust on that. They're doing it for so many years, and there have been very least accidents over there. People like to do that. Let us give you an option. Let's see. We gave an option to the young couples who were traveling at that time. They all opted for it, and they all took it. And then they came back with a certificate showing us that we've got these certificates of deep sea diving and all. We've done it, and then they are now telling everybody to do it. Now we're getting inquiries because they've done that kind of experience. One experience that he gives to
People.
One couple, that couple becomes the brand ambassador for our company. Yaar, ye karo, they offered me this. So these youngsters bring these kind of things in, which we were scared of doing because of fear of accidents or fear of that they may not be able to do it. Earlier, when Indians used to travel, they would get into a swimming pool with their clothes on.
Huh.
Now we are making them aware that it's not acceptable overseas. They're accepting it, they're getting it. Our duty as a tour operator becomes that we educate them. You know, when they go for self-drive, we do give them a half an hour's lesson to tell them how to park, where to park, how to drive, what is the road sense, to give way to the traffic on your right, and all those kind of things. We tell them, and then that's why we see there's lesser accidents and lesser fines that people get because they suddenly become aware. So much so that one couple came back and complained to us कि यार इंडिया में अब ड्राइव करना मुश्किल हो गया. क्या वो मैं राउंड अबाउट पे रुक जाता हूँ कि पहले राइट वाले निकल जाएं तो पीछे वाले हॉर्न मारने लगते हैं कि चल चल यार चल. So that's kind of thing. But there's what I realized is one of the guys said, I've suddenly realized there's something that I want to contribute to this country. I want to go to the RTOs, the road transport organizations, and tell them to educate people on this.
Yeah.
That makes so much a difference. If one car goes and they gives provision to the other car to go, so automatically the movement of traffic will be there. They won't be
simpler.
So
people are getting educated.
They are getting educated with the travel overseas.
Yeah. Now you must be happy that with your son coming in, the name of Weldon will carry on.
Absolutely. I am so proud of it. I know. Yeah, otherwise I was slowing down.
Yeah. So it gives you life as well. Ki, chalo ab aur kaam
Absolutely. Now I want to do something new. Every day there's something new I want to do. Because of that energy I suddenly got because of Angad coming in.
Super.
Yeah.
Now, one more thing. You've been very actively part of various associations. In fact, you've been a founder president also of one of the tour operator.
Outbound Tour Operators Association of India.
Yeah. So, what is the role that these associations actually play?
So, I'll tell you, first of all, why Outbound Tour Operator Association was concepted. So, when service tax came in, when the government came out with service tax,
Yeah.
with the rules and regulations that the government makes, there are a lot of things which are unclear.
Okay.
And there are a lot of things that government also doesn't know in reality of what happens in our trade. That because they are unaware, so there are things which leaves loopholes for later on to, we get into trap of being taxed at the hand. And not because we do it intentionally, It is unintentional.
Unintentional. पता ही नहीं
So
है.
because the clarity in the rule is not there. So and the interpretation of rule becomes like in a different way. You know, there's no set. Like if government sits down with the association, with the trade, not only association with the trade itself, कुछ लोगों के साथ बैठे हैं, they will tell them what are the nitty-gritties of the things that need to be taken care. So when service tax came in, we were like lost how to manage it, and then outbound was impacted in a big way because there was more service tax on outbound, and there were things on domestic also. There were certain
Many
things.
things.
Then later on GST came. GST was supposed to make things easier. It has become more difficult for us. The state GST, no, you don't get credit of. पहले तो वो था भाई एक टैक्स दोगे उसका credit मिल जाएगा आगे तुमने लगाया डिफरेंस के ऊपर ले रहे हो. Now that is no more there. So at that time we found all these things are not heard by the government for outbound industry. Inbound के लिए तो बहुत associations थी जिनके which are representing these things. So we formed this association to represent outbound perspective.
And has it made
to
a
the government.
difference?
It made a huge difference. The government started listening. The government wants
Started
to listen.
understanding.
Yeah, because they also, when you come forward, they are welcoming you. You are welcome in the corridors of the ministry. Yet there are things to need to be changed. We are still talking about it. Like for example, the TCS. I understand that GST and service tax, we are making profit and we are giving share to the government. We are making tax. We are generating taxes for the government because I am making money out of the business that I'm doing. TCS is a tax that I have no involvement. That guy who's traveling, he has to pay tax to the government. And government has to collect that and either give a refund to him or give credit to him. I've got nothing to do with it. But I am the one who's implementing the policy, and if anything goes wrong, any mistake done by them, I will be at the person will be bearing the whole brunt. There will be notices issued to us. There will be so the intention of government to put TCS was to bring the tax people into the tax bracket. There were a lot of things that they could do. Like for one example, I'm saying that anybody who's traveling overseas must have a PAN number. Immigration पे PAN number दिखाए, PAN card दिखाओ, PAN card को वहाँ पे entry डाल दो, and that data will go to the government. Any person, I can still hide it, saying that his father gave money or anything can happen. I'm not saying this can be. We don't want to. We want to work in hand in glove with the government. But there is thing which can be made foolproof, and the ease of business will be there. Here, the ease of business has gone.
So just because you are on the court, so that you can take that to the government.
That's what the associations do.
Yeah.
So we take this to the government and tell them that these are the things which are happening, and then the government, when they become aware of it, they found out ways to make it simpler. So, but there's still, I think the trade and government interaction is still lesser before the rule is brought in.
Before
After the rule is brought in, then
you have to take it up.
Yeah. I wish they sit down with us and find out ways before the rule comes in. We can tell them the various scenarios in which the taxes will be reflecting in different way. Then they can give a solution to it, or they can tell us the way to do it. Then the whole industry will do the same way.
And the implementation will become easier.
The implementation will become easier. Now, chartered accountants are making money for all the rules that come in. Every chartered accountant is interpreting it in a different way. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's somebody's gain is always somebody's loss.
Somebody's loss, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, one last thing I want to ask you. That 40, how many years? I forgot. 45 years in business.
30 in travel trade, about 38 years.
38, and otherwise in business, 45 years.
No, I think more than that.
50 years.
Yeah.
50 years in business. If you were to give specific, I would say, input to anybody starting their business or conducting their business or maybe struggling in their business, what are the few things you'll say?
So the first of all, in any business that anybody is going to start, is the knowledge of that business. Whatever product that you're going to buy or sell or trade in, you must have knowledge of that thoroughly. You can't just step into it and say that I'm going to learn from there. But that will take you long time to learn. Then second thing which one must bring is the standards, the qualities. In one word, integrity. Because if that is there, then come what may, the people around you may want you to, uh, have your integrity be out. But if you will not let that happen, in the end you will win, because that will bring in the desired result. For example, if you are doing a visa and travel trade, and if you don't know the
Person.
how to the process of doing the visa, it's better to go to a specialist and get it done
Rather than trying
rather
to.
than trying it yourself and messing up the whole thing. So knowledge of product, knowledge of the thing is very important, and then bringing quality into it. One thing in whether I was in ink business or I'm trade is, focus on one or two products.
Okay.
Don't focus on everything around it. Because whether
Inside
you
your industry, pick up 2 products and then
pick up those products, become a specialist in that, become an expert in it, because the volumes are so big. People are now looking at, अब तो दांत के डॉक्टर का भी अपर जॉ और लोअर जॉ का अलग डॉक्टर हो गया मतलब कान का अलग डॉक्टर है, नाक का अलग डॉक्टर, everything is different. For heart also you find out which is the doctor who is taking care of the arteries, the main arteries, and the other. Everything is being is now specialized.
Customized, yeah.
So speciality of that is very important. If you become an expert and well known in that product, you will be sought after.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to look at कि मैं ये भी कर लूँ वो भी कर लूँ, बस वो वही करोगे, उतने वाले भी संभाला नहीं जाएगा. But become an expert in that. So that's my the biggest thing. There are many more, but this is the main thing.
The first one you said knowledge. You said get the knowledge and then get into that business. What are the ways to get that? वो कैसे knowledge ले?
So I'll give you my example. I didn't even know the T of travel industry. Ink ही बनाना जानता था. Ink ही sell करना जानता था. When I stepped into this, I put my label of welder into the drawer. I stood in the lines of visas and the passport offices to do things myself. I made a lot of mistakes.
From the ground level.
From the ground level, I did everything. I used to go to the GSs of the airline and learn how to make an itinerary of a ticket and sell a ticket and calculate a ticket. I learned that. Most of the people, if you look around, who are successful in this business, have done jobs in travel trade and have learned from there. They've gained knowledge from their experience and then come into this business. I've seen the people who are consolidators. They were doing jobs with airlines for years. And then after they had full knowledge, they started their business and they are doing very, very well. Because they can give that knowledge to people, their customer now. Okay. So, and then with their experience, they can also enhance your travel experiences, because they know what additional things can be done at the same price. For example, if you are buying a Delhi-Paris Delhi ticket, and sometimes if you also want to go to Switzerland, buying a Air France ticket or a Swiss Air ticket will give you either Delhi, Paris, Zurich at the same cost, or will give Delhi, Zurich, and Paris at the same cost. So rather than buying another ticket, that's the game of a knowledge of a tour operator or of a travel agent.
Yeah.
These are things which will bring in
Only from the ground.
That's how you gain knowledge. That's how you bring this knowledge in. Then reading, you have to, I hated geography. Now I love geography because I want to look at where
this country is.
Where that, not country, things like Washington. Now if you don't know, in USA, there's Washington State and there's Washington DC.
DC.
So
They're two different things.
They're two different things. So geography is very important. You go to Australia and somebody tells you, I want to go to Port Stephen, and you don't know where it is. So knowledge of that is important. What can be done there. So studying, reading, becoming member of those organizations which give you that knowledge. For example, Tourism Australia, USA, Brand USA, there's Atout France. These are organizations here in India, because of the volumes that they sell, that they want to give you training, they want to give you a specialized certificate that you are specialist in this. You can gain knowledge from them.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so great.
We do those programs. If you look at my card, you'll see I'm a specialist of so many countries. I'm a Premier Aussie specialist. I'm a Dubai specialist. I'm various countries I've done the courses, and they certify us that we are specialists in this program. So, and then you keep reading because they also keep on bringing new products. Like Singapore itself brings in new product every year.
Wow.
It's a small country. Yeah.
That's so great. Thank you so much, Guldeep. You know, the
welcome.
most important thing that I'm taking away from in this interaction is that to keep increasing our knowledge.
Yeah,
You know, to keep educating ourselves and I would say be a learner every single time.
Absolutely.
And despite 50 years into business and 38 years into one particular business, I would say you're still learning, and that's the biggest legacy that you can leave behind.
It continues in every field,
Yeah,
knowing new things every day happening, even in computers,
yeah,
even in real estate,
yeah,
even in chemicals. There's new every day.
yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for watching our podcast. Do like and subscribe, and do mention in the comments and give us feedback what you learned, what you loved, and what you love to see in the next podcast. Thank you so much.